Okay, we're going to call this meeting to order, and just so you know, we do have public hearing at 6:15 tonight. So we're going to go to Section 2, approval of the agenda. 2.1, changes to agenda and approval agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Move it.
Dr. White makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So we're now to Section 3, recognition. And 3.1, recognition of Joe Brunson, recipient of the 2021 All Sports Association Male Scholastic Award. Mr. Chambers?
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. And Mr. Bryant, school board members, especially Ms. Ivanchek. As you know, the next three recognitions will all be from Baker School. And I will say, Mr. Martello, Coach Brunson, there is not a more enthusiastic, happier board member person up here who touts Baker School, I think, every single board meeting. So this
Go
is a big
Gators.
night. But it is an honor, board, to recognize Joe Brunson. And Joe Brunson was the 2021 All Sports Association Male Scholastic Award winner. And I do want to read a small excerpt and then also just give a few words of commentary as well. So as we know, Joe Brunson is from Baker High School, and he was recently named the 2021 Male Scholastic Award winner at the All Sports Association banquet. He is both an athletic and academic powerhouse. Joe has been recognized for many academic honors and will graduate summa cum laude. He is also a four-sport athlete. He plays football, basketball, baseball, and weightlifting. His true love is football, however, where he will continue to play at Reinhardt University in North Georgia. And one thing I'd like to say is anyone who has met this young man, they come back with nothing but positive words. Comes from an amazing family. And I also heard that you gave an outstanding speech at the All Sports banquet. So no pressure when you come up here or anything. But just an absolute great representation of Baker School in all of Okaloosa County. And we could not be more proud of you, young man. So congrats. And if you would go ahead and come on up. And before we go ahead and give you just a few things, if you'd like to say anything or address the board.
No, I'm good. Just thank you to everyone. Thank her for all her support, and it's nice to meet you.
All right, we're going to take a picture of Ms. Ivanchek, if you'd come join me. Myself and our school board, especially Ms. Ivanchek over here. Congratulations. All right, appreciate it.
Mr. Chambers,
Congratulations,
Mr.
Joe.
Chambers, do you want his dad to come up there and get a picture real quick?
That would have been a good thing. Mr. Martello, come up as well,
Yeah.
please.
All the Baker boys.
Oh, hold up.
Before we leave, Mr. Martello, you have any words?
So I told these guys not too long ago when they were getting fitted for their rings, I said, thank you so very much. Not for the hard work that they put in, although we thank them for that. Not for bringing home a championship after 27 years, but not just to Baker School, but to Okaloosa County in football. But thank you because every Friday night we had something to look forward to. In a time when all these other things around us were going on and you could look at a lot of negatives, they were a positive every Friday night, and then the run through the series. So I like to publicly thank all of them and Coach Brunson for the outstanding job that they did. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Martello. And Coach Brunson, before we go forward for the next, you may or may not want to say something about your son.
Just, it's been an honor watching him grow. Oh, come up to the, okay. We're honored to be here, and it was a great honor to be recognized by the All Sports Association, and it's a great honor for us to be here tonight representing Okaloosa County and Baker, which is a special place, and it's an awesome place to raise kids, and I'm very proud of my son. It's been an unbelievable ride as a dad and as a coach to watch him, through Little League, middle school, JV, and then varsity. And, he was on the field in 18 when we came up a little short to Madison County, and then, kind of unexpectedly getting in the playoffs and getting hot at the right time this year, getting to Tallahassee and winning a state championship. I may coach for 20 more years, but there'll never be a more special season than this one was. And he was a big part of it, so it was awesome.
Thank you, Coach.
So now we'll move to section 3.2, recognition of David Oglesby, Baker School, recipient of the 2021 All Sports Association Assistant Coach of the Year Award. Mr. Chambers?
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. And this is a special award. It's my understanding that this is the first year that the All Sports Association is recognizing an assistant coach of the year. So I think this is something that we're all proud of. And this is for the 2021 All Sports Association Assistant Coach of the Year. Coach Oglesby has been a key member of the Baker Gators coaching staff since 2005. He currently coaches the offensive line and created a strong blocking game which helped pave the way for Baker to lead the nation in rushing in 2020. And you think about that, not Okaloosa, not Florida, but the nation. When the football season was over, Coach Oglesby begins his coaching with weightlifting and track. In 2016, Coach Oglesby raised $40,000 to equip Baker's track team to train for pole vault. Coach Oglesby is not only a dedicated coach, but also a dedicated teacher. He has been an exceptional education teacher for 21 years. And when you think about Baker School and all the success that they've had athletically, and of course academically as well, but we're talking about coach tonight. It is amazing, and it's well founded that coach is recognized as an assistant coach of the year. So if Coach Oglesby would come forward, we'd appreciate it.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for the honor, and Coach Brunson for putting my name out there. It's I'm humbled. The guys do the work. You get in there and you work hard, and to watch them grow, that's what you get into coaching for, is to watch these kids grow. And like you said, when we started the year off, we just kept getting better, and we got hot. And we brought home a state championship, something that we needed to do for the county, but also for Baker School, and so the kids deserve a lot of the recognition. And so I'm just humbled to be here and thankful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for what you do for those guys.
Again, Baker School's a special place. We got some very special employees and teachers, and there's not many families in Baker that aren't tied to our community by way of their kids going through our school and our programs, and David's coached his son there, but he does a great job with our offensive line. He was there before. I inherited a great crew when I got over there 10 years ago, but he's definitely been a cornerstone to our coaching staff, working with the offensive line. And we couldn't have done it without him, and it was a great surprise, if you will, but definitely a guy that deserved the honor, and Coach O1 being the Assistant Coach of the Year. Thanks.
So When I got back to Baker, not long after that, Coach Oglesby came along, so I've had the privilege to not only work alongside of him as an administrator, but also as a teacher. And the two words that come to mind when I think about Coach Oglesby is humble service. He mentioned that earlier, and that's exactly what I think of every time I see Coach Oglesby in the classroom or on the football field. He really is a servant of our children, and I really appreciate all that he does, not only on that football field, but also in the classroom, too. Thank you, sir.
All right, and we'll move down to section 3.3, recognition of Baker School Football Team, Florida High School Athletic Association Class 1A 2020 State Champions. Mr. Chambers?
Thank you, sir. It is definitely my honor, and I know the school board's honor as well, to recognize Baker School as state champions for this upcoming, for this football season. It's been nice that we've had some individual awards, and I know that that's deserved. But I know Coach Brunson would say it's all about the team. And this Baker football team was exactly that. It was all about the team. You heard Coach say a few moments ago about gelling at the right time, and that's what you like to see. You like to peak at the right time, and they peaked all the way to a state championship, and that's absolutely remarkable. And this is a run that's been going on for many years, and this year it culminated with a state championship, which I know you're extremely proud of. And I do want to say there's a few people here who will be accepting this award. And as you know, right now, during these times, we have limited numbers in here where we would love to have the entire team here with us. But unfortunately, tonight, we're not able to. But we do have excellent representation from Baker School. And we do have captains Joe Brunson and Seth Bosca, who are here with us, two of our student athletes. We also have, obviously, head coach Matt Brunson, and assistant coach, Coach Oglesby, as well as principal Mike Martello. And at this time, if you all would come forward. Before we give you a plaque and some individual certificates, Coach, if you want to kind of chronicle the moment and this season and what it means to you.
Yeah, we've been awful close. We've had, a 5-year run that's been pretty special. I think now we finished up 64-4 in the last 5 years. Third time in the finals, ended up being a charm. But, man, we took a group in 16 and, played a very good Pahookie team in Orlando. We took a group in 18. Some of these guys that were seniors on this year's team were sophomores. These guys were a couple starters on that group. But played in 18, and then, our goal is definitely to get down there every year. We don't lower expectations, but it was special this year. First of all, to get in school on time the way we did. You guys got us here safely. We had our sports season, which I thought the kids very well deserved, and we managed it and, didn't have any hiccups in that area. But to get in the playoffs, to have the success that we have, and make the run, man, there's a lot of people involved, but our guys did a great job. And, to be back on that stage for the third time in 5 years was special, but to come away with a victory and representing Baker and Okaloosa County made it awesome. But we have some very awesome guys, too. So it was a very special, it's about making memories, and the memories we made this year are definitely very special.
Joe, Seth, you have anything?
Seth, what was that record this year? 14-0.
It's just these guys. Seth was our middle linebacker. He was the Northwest Florida Daily News Defensive Player of the Year, defensive captain, played middle linebacker. Joe, of course, played running back, and Coach O1 coached the offensive line, and Mr. Chambers did make a deal now. We not only led the state, but we led the nation in rushing, which is very special. We've been in the top 10, but to get on top of that mountain was something very special, too. And Miss Savanchek's been there the whole way, so it is awesome to have an awesome board member, and the support starts at the top with you guys. So thanks.
Coach Brunson,
Yes.
what happens when Joe's running through the guard center gap and the middle linebacker's waiting on him? What happened in practice?
It was an equal match because both of these guys are good players,
Y'all met
man.
each other better?
Yes. But now, Mr. Horton, you do take these guys that can play and you make sure they don't hurt each other in practice. So you blow a very quick whistle.
Yes. I just figured we just, yeah.
Well, I've said a lot in the last
a few months about my Baker Gators, but echoing what Mr. Martello said, I just want you to know how much it got our whole district excited about something in a year what looked really bleak. And it wasn't just one time, but week after week. Now, there were a couple of games that y'all aged me when it came here at the end to win, but I can't tell you, yes, I kind of overdo and get excited, but I'm just so proud of you, not only as players, but as individuals and the citizens, and you're going to go forward and represent your families, your school, and Okaloosa County so well. So on behalf of our school board and our district, this is a token of our appreciation as the 2020 Class 1A football Florida State champions. All right, you're gonna hold on to this up. Let me get in from here, please. Thank you.
Hey, this meeting's worked out pretty good for us.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
My wife always says, take a five.
Come on, come forward. Perfect, thank you. Great to be again.
Yes, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Well, now that the Baker recognition part of our meeting is now over with, I'm going to give them just a minute to leave, and we are going to go into public hearing. I apologize, we're a few minutes over, but I felt it was important to go ahead and do all three right in a row. So if you would please move down to, uh-oh. Oh, yeah, mine, oh, there it goes, it's finally, it was locked. So we're going to move down to section 17, public hearing, and we'll start off with 17.1, public hearing for adoption of revised school board policy 04-34, equity policy for students. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
And, oh, I'm sorry. Is there anybody from the public here to speak on this particular item? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Dr. Kelly makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 17.2, public hearing for adoption of revised school board policy 06-27, equity policy prohibiting harassment on the basis of race, color, national or ethnic origin, sex, age, religious beliefs, marital status, pregnancy, or disability. Is there anybody from the public here to speak on this particular item? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ms. Vancheck makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 17.3, public hearing for adoption of revised school board policy 06-28, reporting violations of equity policies, prohibiting discrimination and harassment. Is there anybody from the public here to speak on this particular item? Hearing and seeing none, I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ms. Gardner makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So now we will move back up to Section 4. We have no visitors. Section 5, no appointments. And we are at public comment. 6.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board, Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items, and we had no blue cards tonight. Section 7 is workshop only, and now we move to Section 8, consent agenda. 8.1, approval of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, please.
I'll
Move
move.
Dr. Kelly makes the motion. Dr. White, I'll give you the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. Now we're down to Section 9, Superintendent's Human Resource Recommendations. The first two are information only. So now we'll move to 9.3, Appointment of Intern, Chief Financial Officer, and Financial Supplement. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ms. Gardner makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.4, forgiveness of workday for employees due to inclement weather, February 16th, 2021. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move.
Dr. Kelly makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.5, employment separations. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move the motion.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's okay.
Dr. Kelly gets the motion.
I'll go
Ms.
second.
Evancheck gets the second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.6, personnel recommendations. I need a motion to approve.
Move it.
Dr. White makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.7, employee transfers. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes the motion. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.8, reinstatement, reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty, illness, injury, medical examination. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second it.
Second, Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. 9.9, leave without pay. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Ms. Evancheck makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Dr. Kelly makes the second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. So discussion agenda, there was nothing moved, so now we are to section 11, and Dr. Kelly, I will turn it over to you.
Okay, here are copies for my fellow board members and Mr. Chambers. So, as you know from our last meeting, we added task order 12, and we also had a little brief discussion about all of the acronyms that we're using in our construction program. So I took the liberty of compiling a little glossary that might be helpful to us. You might find this useful to have all of our things like pre-GMP and GMP and so on handy for us. So, sure. So with that, I'll give a brief overview. Again, remember what happens in this process is the task order items are listed and they stay on our list until they're out of the warranty period, and then they fall off our list. So when you hear me skip over one, that means that task order was completed and done and it's now fallen off the shelf, so to speak. So now task order 1 was Niceville High School's roofing. That is completed and is in the warranty period. Task order 2 was the district-wide school security update project. Phases 1 and 2 are completed in warranty. Phase 2 is in progress. And phase 3 is in the pre-GMP. Remember last time we said pre-GMP was in the design and the cost offering phase. So that one is in that phase. Looking towards an April GMP on that one since it's in the pre-GMP And you can look at your glossary if you've forgotten what those are. Task Order 3 has been completely done. It is out of the warranty period, so it's off the list, so we won't talk about 3 anymore. Task Order 4 is the Baker School kitchen renovation. It's completed, in the warranty phase, and in use, and everybody's in love with that new kitchen. Task Order 5 is the Joe Etheridge Stadium. Time and materials request. It's completed and in the warranty period. Task Order 6 was Pryor Middle School's kitchen renovation, and it is on hold pending food service funding. They are in the phase of identifying the new equipment that they might want in that process. And so the design phase can be completed, that pre-GMP, remember, after they get those particular items. Task Order 7 was complete, so it fell off the list. Task Order 8 was Kenwood Elementary's kitchen and dining room roof. It is completed and in the warranty phase. Task Order 9 is repairs to Jack Foster Stadium at Crestview. It is in progress, and they're waiting on equipment and lining up the crane, so we'll have more on that next time. Task Order 10, time and materials for the Bay Area Office Emergency Remedial Repairs. That is in progress in the warranty period. Task Order 11 are roofing projects at 4 of our schools. I believe that was Mary Esther, Edge, Crestview High School, and Pryor. And we would consider those to be in the design and construction phase. That's the pre-GMP. We expect to have the GMP arriving shortly, probably on our next agenda. And then the new one we added last time was Task Order 12. That's the COP eligible projects, which would be the multipurpose rooms, the cafetoriums, a few classrooms. And those are in that design and cost development phase, the pre-GMP. And I'll just add that, as Mr. Horton shared this morning, the next Citizens Oversight Committee meeting is here, March the 23rd at 4 o'clock. And that's all I have on that.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Dr. Kelly, and
Thank you very
what
much.
great information there.
I needed this.
Yes. And thank you to all of those who are serving with you on that committee too. So now we'll move down to Section 12, Information Technology Seat Management Contract, and we do have one tonight to vote on. 12.1 CACI Task Order Number 2-184 for Fort Walton Beach High School Baseball Press Box Connectivity. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. Mr. McInnes, your business, sir.
No report tonight.
Okay. Mr. Chambers, your business, sir.
Yes, sir. As you know, on Thursday, we gave I'd say a wealth of information, a good bit of information, but I do want to reiterate just a few things and then add a couple items. First of all, registration, as we talked about on Thursday, for the next school year actually started today. As for all new students who would be coming into Okaloosa County Schools, as well as kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
So especially those kindergarten parents, it's a special time that starts now. So it's important for us, for families, if they feel inclined to register now. It really helps us with numbers, it helps us with staffing, so it's an important time of the year. Also, I want to say this is Music in Our Schools month, and in our county especially, and I'm sure all counties, but we're blessed to have amazing music programs that starts all the way in elementary school and goes all the way up to high school. And I'd say, I know Ms. Gardner, Dr. Kelly, Dr. White, and myself, who's been principals at the elementary level or has had elementary students, knowing the difference that those elementary music teachers make in the lives of those kids, and then moving on up into middle and high school, into band and chorus programs and even drama programs, it makes a huge difference. So this month, we will be celebrating Music in Our Schools month. Ms. Tucker is our liaison at the district office, who does a great job. She'll be compiling different pictures that she'll be putting together as a montage, so to speak, and that'll come out later this month, as well as she's putting some resources out for schools to utilize to celebrate their music teachers and music programs. In addition, I'm only going to say this because I know that Dr. Kelly might have a few words to say, Dr. White might have a few words to say, Ms. Evancheck might chime in, as well as, of course, all the board members. And just, I will say, just very proud of Niceville High School soccer, very proud of Choctaw boys basketball, and I'm just going to leave my comments there because I know I'm extremely proud, but I know there'll be some more comments that'll come in a few moments. Also, just want to give an update just really quickly on vaccinations, and I'm going to ask Mr. Horton to come forward. But I do just want to remind the board that we are working with the local health department on 4 sites. Mr. Horton has gone out to those sites, and the health department has gone out as well to look at the feasibility. But we want to be able to make it as easy as possible for our employees to get the vaccination, as well as the citizens in our county. But Mr. Horton has more specific information.
Hey, board members, just briefly, we've communicated with our all of our employees again this afternoon, trying to provide them with information about vaccinations if they choose to do that. The email that went out today to all employees identified some locations like CVS, Winn-Dixie, Publix, and places like that where we've been informed by the Department of Health are offering vaccinations. And the important thing is that those sources, and I think includes Sam's Club as well, those sources are vaccinating not only the 50 years of age and older educators K-12, but any educators K-12. So that's the message that we're trying to get out to all of our employees, that even if you're under 50, those lucky ones who are under 50 still can sign up online and sign up for an appointment for vaccination. And then it would be the employee to determine the type of vaccination that's being offered at a particular location, make those kind of individual choices themselves. The second thing is the Department of Health is still offering vaccinations, and they are operating under the governor's Executive Order 2147. So at this point, the Department of Health is only administering vaccines to 50 years of age and older K-12 school employees. So that's a differentiation. If you're over 50, the Department of Health will provide a vaccination appointment. If you're under 50, then all of those other locations that I mentioned will do both over 50 and under 50. Okay. In addition, Sacred Heart, Ascension Sacred Heart out in Miramar Beach did reach out to us at the end of last week and say that they had reserved up to 3,000 appointments for vaccination as well. And that geographically not the best place for everybody in the county to attend, but we put that out to our employees as well so that they could take advantage of that opportunity if they wanted to. As far as school sites, I just did get a text this afternoon that they were potentially looking at partnering with us at Niceville High School and Choctawhatchee High School for possible vaccine distributions in the near future. And Dr. Chapman will reach out to us, and we'll certainly coordinate with the principals for times and dates that we know the school's available, because from the wait period in the parking lot after we receive a vaccination to the lines that might form coming into, we want to make sure that's a smooth operation for them. And we would, at that point, through the health department, coordinate with the police departments that have jurisdiction there, as well as our own folks in our sheriff's office. So that's in the works, and as soon as we learn something finally, we'll put that out to our staff as well.
So real quick, you said Choctaw and Niceville are potential.
Those are the two that they looked at, they felt like would be, and I just received a text today that that's the 2 sites they're looking at giving some consideration to, just for school campuses.
So
we'll
I'd have to ask the question, since I represent the part of the north end, why wouldn't Crestview be a part of that?
And I didn't get input on why a particular location wasn't. I know when we went to Fort Walton Beach High School, there wasn't as much of an opportunity for flowing traffic as there was at the other school, but I'll talk to them about that and make sure they give it every consideration.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chambers?
And the last thing I'd have on the vaccinations is, as you know, like we talked about on Thursday, trying to make this as accessible as possible to those employees who would like to have the vaccine. We're working with those employees also on leave, like we shared before, so we can encourage them that want to do it to go get the vaccination, as well as the impact after, if in fact they were to feel sick. And I just appreciate Dr. Hale, Ms. Gallen working through that process. As you can imagine, it's not necessarily easy, because also one of the things that we have to keep up with is also substitutes on the days where that happens. So I just appreciate working through that process.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chambers. Okay, so now we'll move down to board members' announcements and requests for information. And before we get started with that, board members, if you would, please, if you have your ballots for the Bruner Award, if you would just pass them over, we'll put them over that way. Jan, are you going to want to take them?
I'll pass them to you.
Yeah, we'll pass them over. And Ms. Gardner, I'll start with you tonight with board members' announcements.
Okay. Congratulations to Niceville, Choctawhatchee, and Baker. So nice to be able to recognize these individuals and these teams. And I won't go any further because I know I don't want to take any glory away from my other board members. We have spring sports have started, so I am positive we're going to have additional teams and individuals here to celebrate, to recognize. So I look forward to following those and recognizing those individuals. But I'll let the rest of the board members do their cheers for these other teams that we're so proud of.
All right. Ms. Vancheck?
Well, I think I've gotten enough attention for the night, but I do want to say for Niceville and Choctaw that I'm so proud of them. And again, like I told the students from Baker, they're representing our district well. And again, just so proud and congratulate them for their success.
And Dr. Kelly?
Okay, well, I do have a few things. First of all, I want to tag on to something the superintendent said about Music and Education Month. And I think no other time in history has music education been so difficult as it has been during the pandemic. I mean, music teachers are all about individualized and group teaching. And so to instruct at a distance on an instrument or vocally has just been really a very difficult thing that they've overcome. So just kudos to those music educators who are out there, as with all instructors, but particularly those. I've heard some of them, even in other counties, talk about the special mask with the slits and how do you play an instrument or sing without potentially exposing other people to whatever you might have. So kudos to those music educators this month, particularly, and this year in this pandemic. But also, I need to go back and mention about the glossary that I compiled. After I put these things together, I sent them to Joel Linder at Jacobs to preview, review, and make sure that I was on point with that. So I want to give him a little shout out. Just thank you to Joel Linder, too. But today is International Women's Day, and I usually do a little post about all the strong women that influenced me in my life and all the heroes that I looked up to, particularly my own mother and grandmother. But as I think about education, really, all of the mothers and non-mothers who are educators, all of those women and gentlemen too, but they stand in the stead for Women's International Day today too, so kudos to them. And then I was going to say congratulations to our Eagles men's soccer team. They brought home second place in the state, runner-up, and that's phenomenal. Soccer is a very difficult and very multi-layered game, and it's a very intense game, and all of those athletes are also outstanding students. And so I know myself, being a principal at that level, sitting on a cold metal bench in the middle of winter, cheering on a soccer team or a soccer student is one of the most brutal things you'll ever do to show love to those students. So all of the parents, all of the coaches, and the students themselves, they just have my highest regard. And I just praise them for the integrity that they showed to play at that level and to get there and to hold their own against Gainesville. I'm sorry, not Gainesville. I wanted to say Gainesville because congratulations to the Niceville High School lacrosse team who defeated Gainesville 15-0. Their season isn't over. As you know, lacrosse goes into mid-April or something, so we have a few more games to watch them. But I think that, as Ms. Gardner said, we might see a few more state-level competitions in our future here. Some calendar dates. I think it was mentioned last time that I didn't do my due diligence on the calendar, so I wanted to get up to speed on my duty here. So, as you know, this Thursday, March the 11th, is the end of the third 9 weeks. March the 15th, for those old English teachers, I should say experienced English teachers like myself, you don't know, that veterans, I like that even better. That marks the Ides of March, made more infamous by Shakespeare's famous play. And you might not know, but I find it interesting that since that time, going back to Roman times, that was known as the date to make repairs or to go after your enemy. And so since Julius Caesar was defeated and brought to death on that day, now it's been known as a day of revenge. So the Ides of March, watch your back day. And then March the 17th, as we know, is St. Patrick's Day. Wear your green, don't be pinched. And March the 22nd is our Teacher Work Day student holiday. 24 days until spring break, April the 19th. After spring break, interestingly, there are 24 student school days left and 26 or 27 teacher school days left. So it's coming right along here. I do want to go back to something that I heard about this week, and I want to give kudos to a fellow board member, Ms. Ivanchuk, for the idea with the superintendent of hosting a student leadership meeting on Friday. I will be unable to attend, but I think it's phenomenal that y'all thought about talking to students about how COVID had impacted their lives. We've talked about how it's impacted our instruction, how it's really impacted every level of life. But we haven't really talked to students to that level, so great idea, and I look forward to hearing how it goes with you. Since I couldn't go, y'all know the veteran English teacher here, I couldn't resist, so I wrote a little ditty on that occasion for the students. And if you'll bear with me, I'd like to read it if you don't mind. It's called To the Class of COVID-19, an Ode to Quarantine. A year ago in March, when we dismissed for spring break, a virus from China caused nearly more than we could take. What we thought would be just a short recess evolved into a topic causing much duress. Spring turned to summer, fall and then winter. We watched the pandemic seek new territory to enter. What we saw, thought, and felt just didn't calibrate. Deprived of friendly meetings, we couldn't celebrate. We overused good words ad nauseum like unprecedented. But that virus for some time just never relented. Some felt the whole world was in a monstrous mess. People fell ill and lost all sense of taste, smell, and dress. Instructional models were planned, rehearsed, and rearranged. Moms as teacher moms, many felt estranged. Online, hybrid, brick and mortar too. My way, your way, there's a way for you. Teachers in the classroom, teachers on Zoom, working every minute to see their students bloom. Employees cleaned, sanitized, and desk rearranged, wondering if education as we knew it was forever changed. Many stayed at home, but it was no staycation. Students with no assemblies, no prom, no graduation. There was little to no movement, no cruising, no travel. All visions of summer vacation began to unravel. Social distance, hand washing, and face coverings under review. Whose guidance, whose wisdom, under whose purview? School board members heard from those masked and unmasked. We worked hard to protect while ensuring none was harassed. Due diligence and contact tracing, following CDC rules, forced quarantine, and many absences from school. Finally, with safety directives followed and social gatherings curtailed, cooler heads and some practical policies prevailed. Focus turned to reopening our schools with persistence. That was one bit of guidance met with only a little resistance. Having honed vaccinations, social precautions, and herd immunity, let's get back into school, that special place of student community. Time, they say, heals all provocations. Until then, quarantine, we'll commence our student celebrations.
Excellent, Dr. Kelly. I love it.
Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Dr. White.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, it's my honor to issue congratulations to the Choctawhatchee Boys High School basketball team and Coach Andy Thigpen for their runner-up 5A state championship result. These young men and Coach Thigpen had a great season. They had 26 wins and only 3 losses. Congratulations again on a spectacular season. And that's all, Mr. Bryant. Thank you.
And my closing comments will be, again, to congratulate Choctaw and Niceville. And the one thing, again, that was awesome, I know I was trying to follow Miss Vanchek on Twitter and Facebook and all as she was doing the scores, but it was Okaloosa together, you know, again, from Laurel Hill all the way down to the south end of the county. We were all in this together. We were hoping that they would bring it home, and yet they came up a little short, but we're still all proud of them. And I think the phrase I saw out there was Okaloosa proud. And I know I'm proud. I know we're all proud of our schools and our athletics and all. So again, congratulations to those teams. And like Ms. Gardner said, I think we're going to see more here in the next couple of months. So.
We are. Spring sports.
Yep. All right, so section 16 is public comment, and this is the 2-minute version of public comment. And again, we have no blue cards. So before we adjourn, Ms. Appleberg, anything? Ms. Lightbourne? Mr. Horton, anything else? Dr. Hale? Ms. Callan? All right, this meeting's adjourned.